Hey, good morning, or welcome back to another episode of the Daily Log Diaries. I'm starting today off with my morning routine. I went out with some friends yesterday and didn't document any of it, and I missed my evening journaling, which is all good. It happens. I did manage to collect a small sticker from my adventures yesterday and just put it inside the clear cover of my weeks. And I'm going to put that in my journal as the one little memento I have for the day. And that's something I actually kind of like about the daily pages of the cousin. And one of the things that kind of keeps pulling me back to using it. Sometimes I feel like a bit of a crow with shiny brain. I've got a sticker, I've got some paper bits that I want to collect for the day. Is anyone else like that? And now we're on to my morning planning routine. It's the same exact pattern as yesterday if you saw episode 2, but this is in real time and it's pretty quick. Here I'm just adding in a small memory from yesterday into my monthly. I've been trying to collect the more big events that kind of happen or the bigger memories, so my monthly spreads can continue to be a quick at a glance recap of my month. Hey, for today's chatty portion of this daily log diary, I thought I would talk a little bit about my weekly spreads and my Hobonichi cousin. I'm a couple days behind because it's been a busy weekend, so I need to update Friday, Saturday, and start Sunday in here. And so I thought we could do that on camera and then just talk about, why I do this, because essentially what I'm doing in my weekly spreads is I am translating everything from my Hobonichi weeks into a vertical layout. And I do this for a couple of reasons. What I've found since kind of venturing into the Hobonichi weeks is that this layout is fantastic for me for planning. A horizontal week on 2 page really works for my brain to just really focus on what do I need to do today? What do I need to do this week? 90% of what I do isn't date specific. If I don't do laundry on a Thursday, it's really not the end of the world in our household. So this list kind of ends up being a lot longer for me. And when I was planning in a vertical layout, I would try and plug every single task into a specific date because I wanted to use the sidebar for other purposes. And that led to a lot of feeling guilt if I didn't get a task done on that specific day. So a Hobonichi Weeks is a better planning layout, but I really struggle to pull my old weeks off the shelf and flip through and find things again. There's something about this layout that does not appeal to my brain from a memory keeping point of view. This is where the vertical spreads really shine through for me. A vertical spread is easy for me to flip through, and because I kind of log this stuff more or less chronologically, I can find things very quickly, or I'm more inclined to pick out a sticker or doodle something, and it all kind of jumps out at me a little bit more. I've really focused on keeping my daily pages up to date, so I really only have 2 weekly spreads in here. At some point, I'll go back and update these 2 spreads just so that it's complete, but I haven't had time, so I'm not worrying about it all that much. But yeah, so I like this for a memory keeping standpoint because I do flip through old cousins to figure out when was so-and-so's birthday if I didn't add it to my like big log. When did I have that appointment? If I see, hey, we watched a movie on this day, I'm more likely to write the funny quote directly underneath it. And I can just like I can thread the memories together just a little bit more efficiently. So 2019 is a year that this is my first year completing a Hobonichi cousin. I thought I would just show you how my spreads have changed pretty drastically. But I was actually using this as both my planner and my archive memory keeper at the time. So I know I can do this, but I essentially replicate this because any year I used a Hobonichi cousin as my memory keeper, planner, or archive. It's very functional for me to pull that off the shelf and find what I'm looking for. Which is why we are embarking on that again in 2023. So what I'm going to do now is basically just start popping information in, focusing on the weekend here, and then I'm going to be referencing my Hobonichi weeks. I'm writing with my Pilot Vanishing Point, inked with the Atramentis Archive ink in an extra fine. I'll have the details in the description box down below, but it's the same pen I use on all my planners, so nothing major. And then if I have something kind of in this bolder font, that is going to be done using a Tombow Fudenosuke in the hardtip. Okay, let's speed this up because I just kept chatting about absolutely nothing. What I'm really doing is transferring memories and tasks from my weeks into the daily pages. I have been experimenting with putting the tasks at the top portion of each column of the weekly spread, and then all the memories more or less in chronological order. There's not really a method yet on what gets transferred, but mostly whatever is in my weeks is ending up on the spread as of now. I might change that up in the future. But after I put in all the chronological events roughly around the time that they happened, I don't get too picky about this. Then I will fill in any blank areas that look like they need balance, either by drawing something, using a sticker, or noting very small things, like maybe a song I listened to as part of the day, or things like that. I really like that the weeklies end up being both a log and a journal in one, and I've been experimenting with putting my entries across multiple columns. It's something I'm doing in my standard TN, and I also save all the watercoloring for the end of the week. I'm ending my day with journaling in my daily pages of my Hobonichi cousin. First thing is first, let's do a quick check-in for the Daily Log Diaries challenge. Doing my header with my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen, and I'm making my bullet points with my Pilot Vanishing Point. And the feedback again is pretty positive. Point number one, big shocker. The system is working. The small tweaks I made yesterday were pretty helpful, actually. The little memo book kind of allows me to get that like shit to myself talk out in the morning, so that's been a good addition. Switching from the zip cover just to a clear cover and moving over a little bit of deco also really helped with my weeks. It made me feel a bit more at home. I think I just spent so much time in the passport over the last few weeks that felt like home, even though I was getting really frustrated with the system, and the weeks felt very foreign to me every time I tried to use it. So small things like that make a difference. I really like the deco that I used in my passport, and just bringing that over, I'm like, yes, I'm loving how the weeks feels and looks and all that kind of stuff. And the last point is about journaling. And tomorrow I'm going to talk more about journaling for my daily logs diary topic, the routine and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for more information on journaling, I guess. But my point today is that I think the dated daily pages has been very good for my journaling. Not so much on like a consistency standpoint. All of last year, when I did any kind of journaling, it was just in a standard size traveler's notebook and an undated insert, which kind of made the journaling feel less special to me. I think I'm just so used to journaling on a dated page over the last few years. It sort of connects me with where my headspace is, what's going through my head to a particular day in the year. And it's a strange thread to acknowledge, but when I'm writing on these daily pages, I'm being a bit more precious about it, and not necessarily from like a handwriting. My handwriting has been terrible. That's been one thing I've been trying to do, is just use like really messy cursive, but more precious in that I'm thinking about what I want to write, or I'm getting to kind of those deeper, darker thoughts a little bit more intentionally, because I want to say, hey, where was my headspace at, or what happened on this day and how did that make me feel? I have some inserts, or some entries, not inserts, that are just like random looping, writing about nothing. And I think over time, how I approach the journaling is going to get a little less precious. But that was one point that I made for this week, is that writing on a dated daily page has been good for the subject of what I'm writing on. And it's just a different way of me. It's just framing up how I think about things a little bit different, which was kind of cool to acknowledge. But I'm journaling with my Sailor Pro Gear Slim. This is the Vega edition in a medium fine. I got it from Yoseka late last year. It's my second favorite fountain pen, I think. Really like the medium fine nibs. I think I have a Lennon Toolbars ink in there. I think it's Mountain Elves, if I remember right. I know you can't really see the ink extremely well in this clip. But this is sort of the last thing I've been doing in my planners now before I go to bed. And I did this a little bit early so I'd have some sunlight. But in general, thank you for being here, guys. I hope you enjoy. If you guys have any topic suggestions, let me know. But otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.